Hello guys, remember me? I'm Orbiter, your Welsh engineer, and welcome to Career Mode, Kerbal Space Program, version 1.1.2 version. Yeah, I've upgraded it. I'm now in version 1.1.2, which means that things that have gone wrong should not go wrong this time. Okay, so in the last episode we have found out we couldn't launch anything that had over 30 parts, or over 18 tons. So what I'm going to do by here is upgrade our buildings, but we haven't got enough to upgrade everything. You know, we could upgrade the vehicle assembly building, but that means large rockets. We can't launch large payloads because we can't get 18 tons or more in there. So what I'm going to do is upgrade our launch pad. No, we don't want to enter it. Come on. Oh, by the way, I'm doing this post-commentary because I thought my commentary doing the video was absolutely crap. So anyway, then we upgraded our launch pad, and you can see we have 114 tons available, and we can launch larger or higher rockets. Longer rockets. Wink, wink. Okay, that's stupid. Anyway, we've got a couple of things we can do. First off, let's launch this. This is the Orbit. Orbit 1, yes. I'm going to still stick with Kurt Jebediah because Bill and Heldy aren't the really pilots, and we need to be able to get into orbit. We need the SAS control, basically, because I'm crap at flying free. Yeah. Oh yes, and in the last episode, some of you people was talking about the parachutes that they wouldn't open. Well, they had to be green coloured. Yes, I know all about that, between amber and green. The problem was, when we were coming to the ocean, apparently I had the parachute open, but we were travelling too fast because there wasn't enough aerodynamic drag, and we had the extra weight of the rocket, so we crashed into the ocean because the parachute broke. Oh yes, by here I'm talking about upgrading our vehicle assembly, not just the vehicle assembly building, but also the tracking station, because that allows us to make maneuver nodes. Anyway, quick talk about this rocket. The thrusters, the thumpers on the side, solid rocket boosters are at 50%, so let's launch, and off we go with Jebediah in tow. Let's get into orbit, because you remember the last episode, we failed it, and it was because the parts count. Well, actually, as you can see here, we have under 30 parts, but we were able to unlock some more science, and I believe we had the weight limit of the launch pad, which I thought was silly because it was just dirt. Oh yes, I almost forgot the contracts we have. 1. Get into orbit. Number 2. Test the TR-18A stack decouplers at certain altitudes and certain speeds. I think it was 28,000 and 30 kilometers. Burst speeds between 5,500 and 1,100, and we've just gone over the speed, and we were at altitude. Shame we couldn't do that, and we had re-entry heating while launching. Yes, that was daft. We were going a bit too fast for this rocket. I don't think it hurt so much because all the parts seem to have a little bit of thermal protection. It would be good, actually, if all the parts would sort of degrade if you abuse them like that. Like, you know, you had re-entry heating while getting up to launch, and the parts damage would increase over time. I think there is a mod for that, which makes it look like they have parts damage. Anyway, we're going to get to 70 kilometers. We're going to get into a lower orbit, I think. But I was wondering, how long does it take to burn that engine to get into orbit? I'm used to using the Terry engine, but I never took note of anything else, you know. Different rockets, different weights, different thrust to weight ratios as we get up. I wasn't paying attention with this one, so it's going to be a trial and error. So let's go ahead and do this. We need to get about 2,300 meters per second, or perhaps a bit more, like here. Yeah, we overburnt it a bit, but we're in orbit. That's awesome stuff. Okay, so now that we're in orbit, I think it's time to do a bit of science, don't you? Oh yeah, we got enough fuel to the orbit, that's okay. Observe materials bay, and look at that glitching. I have no idea what that is. I thought that would be fixed in version 1.1.2. Am I running version 1.1.2? I think I am, yes. So yeah, don't worry, we are in version 1.1.2. So, materials bay and goo. I've decided actually to do the materials bay high in orbit, and that was because we hadn't gone high in orbit before. So do a crew report, 7.5, that's awesome stuff. Observe materials bay. 8.2? What the deuce? Of course, I done a suborbital hop at high altitudes. It doesn't change if you're in orbit either. And that's a shame. Damn it. We'll have to do that when we get low down. See, we haven't done a mysterious goo. Mysterious goo. Anyway, coming in for a deorbit. Oh no, wait, this wasn't a deorbit. Look, Kerbal in orbit. And we're not in a perfect orbit. We have to be over 70 kilometers either side of the orbit, a periapsis and an apoapsis, to get in a perfect orbit. So something to remember. Even though the camera angle changes to say that you're in orbit, you still have to get the orbit height. I think that's fair enough, because I think in real life, if you're under 100 kilometers, you're classed as a suborbital hop, I believe. That's just guessing, but that's I think that is a real fact. So yeah, I think so. Okay, a couple of things we have to do now. We have to get into we have to get low in our orbit, so we can do materials bay low in orbit. And I suppose what we could do, the static TR-18A stack decoupler, we can get to a low altitude, but could we get the speed? We'll be traveling too fast, I think. I'm not entirely sure. It's possible, because we're high in the orbit at the moment, and we'll get a lot of potential energy when we're coming down towards the planet, and there won't be enough atmospheric drag to slow us down to get that TR-18A stack decoupler science. Let's give it a go, I suppose. Okay, a bit of time warp, and ooh, look, sunrise, and observe materials bay. 25 sounds. We cannot shake a stick at that. We have to keep that. Anyway, let's get ourselves to deorbit, and then we can... Yeah, a quick jump in the video there. And I found we were travelling too fast to test the TR-18A stack decoupler. Because watch the speed as we come down. Oh yeah, that's a couple of things I forgot. This is career mode. There's a couple of extra things you can do. Like set up building up funds, or... In the administration building, you can set up sort of like... what do you call it? I forgot what you call them. Strategies. That's them, strategies. You can set up some strategies so we can get more funds, more science, more reputation, depending on what we need. Oh, world's firsts. That's awesome. Anyway, let's get ourselves down, and hopefully we will survive this, because yeah, it seems that when you have the materials bay underneath, you're a bit bottom heavy, and it wants to correct itself, so the command pod is down in the flames. But Jebediah is happy anyway. Whoa, we almost bit the bullet there. Anyway, luckily we let off enough speed, so yeah, safe and sound. Anyway, here we are coming in for landing in the mountains as well. Or is this dunes? I don't think these are mountains. They're not high enough. I'd call them hills at best. Or at least from this vantage point. It looks a bit mountainous, but I don't know. What would you consider a mountain? I suppose Kerbals are smaller, so that would class them as mountains. Oh yes. At this point, I wasn't sure if we would if the parachutes would open in time. So I set them to open at a higher altitude. That's quite good. You can fiddle with those sliders. I don't use them enough in the game, so it's something I have to get into. Anyway, let's get back to the space building hangar. No, get your words right. Let's go back to the Kerbal Space Center, see what else we can do, get some more missions, and ooh, this does look good. I like the way the light shines over the mountains. You can see the shadows. Quite epic. Anyway, look what we got. 139 science. That is awesome. Yes, cool stuff. We got some money back. Not as much as I'd like. I think we'd have to plan to land near the Kerbal Space Center. That way we'd recover more money. And Jebediah's leveled up 1. That is awesome. Cool, dude. Now, okay, so what we want to do, I want to upgrade some buildings, but I don't think we got enough cash to do so yet. Because if we upgrade that one, Kerbals can do EVAs, we get more science. But I think I'll hold back on that one at the moment. We can get 12 active Kerbals. Does that reduce the Kerbal prices as well? Because that's where I was running to. High prices. Okay, so what we want to do is we got a lot of cash for building rockets. That's not too bad, but we need more for upgrading the buildings. We've got plenty of science. Although I would like to upgrade our science, get more science from Linus Kerman. We've got Gus who will get offers and parts and stuff. But Mortimer Kerman, our finance officer. Yeah, I think this is what we'll do. We'll go for a fundraising campaign. It'll cost 7 reputation. So yeah, it yields over 1,015 funds for each 1 unit of reputation. So yeah, let's accept that. No refunds. Should you want to activate a strategy? It cannot be modified once activated. I don't know. Yeah, let's go ahead for it. Because what's the worst could happen? Can we cancel it after? You know, just say outright, let's cancel it. Okay, next thing we need to do is spend our science. So what we did this year is spend it on rocket parts. Because I want that Terry engine. We've got the stability enhancement parts as well. And probe core. We got a thermometer in there as well, which will help with science. So yeah, let's get them too. 4.3 science left, so let's go ahead and get some more missions. Okay, I have an idea here. We got these Thumper engines. We've already unlocked them, by the way. But they want to test them on the launch pad. And yes, we also have the TR-18A stack decoupler. So I want to combine them, and let's see what we come up with. Here we are, you little tester. That's where I named the rocket, by the way. Okay, you can see we've got a little rocket on top of the thumping solid rocket booster. Yeah, that's what you call it. So yeah, Jebediah, I meant to swap out Jebediah for one of the other guys, but never mind. So what's going to happen here, we're going to test the Thumper engine on the launch pad. There's no fuel in it, so it's not going to launch us up. I got a bit of fuel in it to give us a bit of a boost, so make sure we get up to altitude, because we've only got a small fuel tank. But anyway, we have to test it in staging as well. So we got the parameters set, yes. Let's stage that rocket and see what we get. Awesome stuff. That is simple stuff. Parts testing like that I can accept, but perhaps you should have had a bit of fuel in there to make the test a bit more, I don't know, what do you call it? Make the test a bit more better, a bit more legit. Because it feels like as if, you know, you just staged it, you just activated the launch sequence. Anyway, we've got the TR-18A stack decoupler to test at 28 kilometers, or to 31, at 550 meters per second to 1200, or 1100, sorry. So let's get this puppy up and see what we can get. Stage, come on, launch. Okay, I'm trying to think by here. Did we need to go sideways a bit more, higher a bit more? We're at the speed, which is good. We're coming to 28 kilometers. The speed does not look, this does not look good. No, it does not look good. Come on, altitude. Ah, we're in the speed now. No. Damn, I'm lost it. We're at altitude. It's always this way, isn't it? You either get one or the other. Yeah, are these speeds impractical for launching up into orbit? Whether they are or not, anyway, what we can do is see if we can get these speeds and that altitude at the same time coming down. Let's see what happens. Nope. As I said, it's either one or the other. And obviously we're going to drop down through the atmosphere, through the height, through the altitudes, but we weren't going to get the speed. Obviously, it doesn't work like that. If we could get the speed, we wouldn't have the altitude. Damn things. Yeah, and by here, I'm just trying to see if going sideways, juttering about, would reduce our speed. Oh yes, and also we've got the thermometer. If I remembered that, we could have done that at multiple altitudes and transmit the data back. Never mind. Science lost. My fault. Anyway, let's get Jebediah down. And what can we consider? Well, we have got one contract complete there. We got the Thumper test. That was simple. We could have done that without launching. We tried the TR-18E stack decoupler, but we got a bit of no nearby. Oh yes, that's right. I was wondering what the hell was that on the horizon. That was the launch pad. Come on, you idiot. Get with it. But anyway, what we got one contract. We need to still do the TR-18A stack decoupler. Let's get building. And this is what we've got. I forgot what I named this. Yeah, I should take note of what I named things. Anyway, what we're going to try and do... This is going to get us into orbit again. Yes, it's same design as the last one. However, we got the Terrier engine, the LV909, for those who've been with the KSB for quite a long time. And that is going to get us into a higher orbit to do more science. Let's see what happens. Again, I limited the thrust on the Thumper engines, though it's not needed because we got the what do you call them? The struts. Space tape is what we need. And of course we got Jebediah in the cockpit again. Oh yes, and that's what I forgot to mention. When I went to the astronaut complex, we've got 2 more Kerbals. You remember Bill, was it Bob I killed? And Valentina? They come back to life. Anyway, let's get back into orbit with Jebediah, #1 pilot. Yeah, I think in the Barry, I should have put Valentina in this mission. That way, she would have leveled up one. We'd have 2 level 1 pilots. Oh yes, that's right. We've leveled up with Jebediah. That means he's got prograde and retrograde, which is awesome when you want to point retrograde or prograde. I don't know what's going with that. Anyway, let's... Thinking about it, we had enough Delta V in here to go to the moon. We could have done a figure 8 like the Apollo 13 missions. Well, all the Apollo missions done the figure 8. Where they passed in front of the moon and the moon's gravity would slow it down and we'd come back. Anyway, let's get to the science, and this is the point I realise. You ain't doing much science here, mate. No. Yes, I think either we have to go extreme altitudes, or we have to go and out of the sphere of influence of Kerbal. Perhaps the man. Yeah, I think that's the next mission. Going to the man and doing science. However, I think we have to look at the contracts, see what else we can do. I feel like this series at the moment, the past 3 episodes, this one included, I haven't done that much. I've just gone for basic contracts. As I said before, I would love to do NASA-style contracts, where, you know, you have to do those big missions. The big ones, where you do little ones to build up to the big ones, not parts testing. Anyway, as doing as much science as we can. Yeah, we'll keep that. There's no way of wasting that. We have to return to Kerbal. And as always, things don't appear, don't work out today. They never do. This is career mode. And this is what it's all about. Is an adventure of what you're going to do. Okay, so this is the plan. We're still going to try the TR-18A stack decoupler. So I'm trying to reduce the speed as much as possible because we had plenty of fuel here. Or at least I thought we had enough to do this. 1600 and speed is rising. I don't think so. There's no way we're going to reduce that speed in time. Hey, wait a minute. If I remember correctly, in the contracts, there was one for drogue chute. Could we utilize a drogue chute to get that speed? One's his thinkings. a drogue chute would act in high orbit, in high altitudes as well. So yeah, it's a possibility. Anyway, I'm going to change this series up a bit. Rather than do it mission by mission, I may do missions off camera, and I'd, commentate over the top of sort of like missions on, simple missions or more exciting missions, I think. Trying to... No! We lost the materials bay. That was not good. Oh, damn bullshit. Jebediah's alive. But you've lost the science, Jebediah. How dare you? A Kerbal note should always go down with his science. Or is it his rocket? I don't know. I think science sounds better. Yeah, every Kerbal should die with their science. With their experiments. Isn't that what they do anyway? We kill them doing experiments. Anyway, guys, after that mess up deorbiting, this is the end of the episode. So if you like this episode, crank that like button like an engineer. And I will see you in the next video. I'll change it up a bit, make it a bit more exciting, I suppose. And all I can say here is, I'm Orbital. Trust me, I'm an engineer.